And then somebody else would say, well, Mr. President, you've tried to explain Reaganomics, and it still doesn't make any sense to us. Can you please take out a moment to explain Reaganomics and how Reaganomics really works?
Well, yes. Now let's suppose your mom bakes a great big blueberry pie. That pie represents the wealth of this country. Now let's suppose you cut that pie in half. The top half is for domestic spending. The bottom half over here is for foreign spending, and this other half over here is the national debt.
But Mr. President, that is 3 halves, and a pie only has 2 halves.
No, you don't seem to understand. Let me put this a different way. Now let's suppose you have 3 apples. Not 2 apples, but 3 apples, and 3 glasses.
I think I always tell people I'm a frustrated actor. Really, I'm doing this because I didn't make it in on Broadway, or I didn't make it in Hollywood, and I think that's part of it. I think you have to, if you're really going to grab students, I think there has to be an element of an actor or actress and a professor that really part of it is pulling people in through entertaining them and helping them to really appreciate the subject matter by bringing it to life that way. Teaching has to be, in this job, it has to be front and center, and it has to be the highest priority. And it has to be a labor of love. It has to be something you really love to do. Because if you don't love it and you don't want to be there in the classroom and you have a cynical attitude toward it, the students will pick up on that. I mean, they're very bright, they're very perceptive, and they will pick up on the fact that you don't want to be there. And so I think a big part of it is and certainly it's why I decided I wanted to go into academia and become a professor, was just because I loved sharing ideas with students. And I saw that they loved to share their ideas with me, and there was a wonderful back and forth. And I think when you create that kind of learning environment where people love learning and the professor loves it just as much as the students, and that love is real and it's honest and authentic and sincere, the students get so much out of it, the professor gets so much out of it, and it turns out to just be one of the most gratifying experiences in life. Sometimes if I have to write something or get some work done, I have to close the door and throw myself into whatever I'm doing, and sometimes I'll get a knock and I'll just have to disregard it because I have something I have to prepare for a meeting, or an article I have to finish writing. But most of the time I keep an open door for the students. I've been for many years the undergraduate advisor in the Department of History, and I just find that the best part of the job is the interaction I get with the students, and so I keep my door open as often as possible, and I welcome the students whenever they want to come in and chat, and we have some of my best conversations have happened outside the classroom, where students just get really excited by a reading or an idea.
The Civil War until the present, the social justice movement and the peace movement.
Oh, right on.
So dealing with abolition.
And they come in and they want to talk about more, and they want to delve into it more deeply, and they are not doing this at all for brownie points or to win favor or to impress me, but I really get the sense with some of those students that come in and they just want to, they're so moved by the ideas and the new discoveries they're making that they want to sit down and make sense out of it a little bit more. And so, if I'm pretty busy, I'll close the door and I'll ignore the knocking, but for the most part I'll often leave it open and get people dropping by and visiting, and it's very rewarding. It's part of the job. I have a kind of a cluttered office with lots of little bits and pieces of history. A student of mine was a very wonderful gift, gave me some sand from Dog Beach, where the Americans landed at D-Day in June of 1944, and something I've always cherished. It's a piece of history that is very near and dear to my heart, and so I keep that nearby whenever I'm working, and always a source of inspiration. it's a lot of fun, and I notice that, you know, when the more I get into it and the more I put myself into it and show that level of enthusiasm and excitement, the more I find that students really get into it and really they start asking questions, and they get more participation, and it's just you know, they feel the energy, and then they want to take part in it, and it's really exciting to see that.
And you take all those apples and these three halves of the pie and mash them together. Mash them together? But Mr. President, that would be a huge mess. Well, yes.